Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. It is the obligatory YouTube new car video. Let's go, champ. Now, I did a competition on Patreon and you had to guess what my new car was and what colour it was and whether it was manual or automatic. And the winner of that Patreon competition is a guy called Aaron. Aaron, I've already messaged you. I'm going to get this packed up. There's some little bits down the side of the box as well, so don't throw the box away. Some more products there, but I'll pack it with the peanuts as well. Let's go and have a look. Let's go and have a look at the new car. Let's not delay this. Drag it out. Where's the keys? Oh. And a lot of you will probably guess maybe what this car is because I'm quite predictable. Okay, BMW M240. Now, bear with me. It's blowing a gale. Let's just have a look at it first. You're seeing this literally, I'm seeing this like for the first time, literally like you, but although I've had a quick eyeball. I haven't looked in here before, so. Oh, it's a double pump. It's not Beamer. Okay, nice. Yeah, nice. Just needs a little bit of dressing there, a little bit of dressing, get that all clean. Yeah, it'll take 5 minutes. Very good, nice and clean. Give that little hoover out. All right. Okay. That's been painted. That's okay. I know about that. It's a good thing, isn't it? Because they'll all need painting, but the front's been repainted, so any little stone chips are gone. Now let's get in it. Now, the battery's running flat, which is not good. Now I've asked, you might be saying this car's not clean, disgraceful. Why haven't they cleaned it? I asked them not to clean it. Do not slick and do not put any dressings on there. Do not slick. Dun, dun, dun. Tyres. Do not slick tyres. Okay, yeah, I just didn't want any dressings on the car. I didn't want any paintwork sealant on the outside because it's all just got to come off. You know, I want to do it myself. It's going to need paint correction. Oh, well, probably. I assume it will. Now, what are the important things about this car for me is it's a manual. It's a coupe, which is what I want. It's less value than my M140 that I recently sold, but I'm more of a coupe guy. I want a rear wheel drive car. I now want manual because I'm not doing the miles in it. So if you do, you know, everyone's different, but the automatic, if you plan to do a bit of light track work with your car, you lose something with an automatic. You lose a bit of the fun factor, and it's a big part of the driving experience, I think, is taken away from you. And I mentioned when I had the 330 Ci Club Sport and the M140, I would always grab the keys to the 330 Ci Club Sport just because I enjoyed, it felt like I was actually driving rather than just being driven by the car almost. So I'm really pleased that I've gone with a manual. Now, another thing about this car, which is quite hard to get, is the fact that it's called an LCI 2. So you had the M235 originally, and then you had the M240 with the same interior. Then you had the LCI 2, which had this, like, it's not a Shadow Edition, but it's like similar to the interior of the Shadow Edition on the 140. So it's almost like the Shadow Edition interior. And I just think it's a slightly more modern, less Art Deco-y cockpit. There's not that much difference in it, but I wanted an LCI 2, believe it or not. I wasn't fussed about this semi-digital console, but I wanted this upgraded interior. I love the the fact it's gloss black trim, even though it's a pain, I just stay away from it. And it's just a very simple interior. I'm not a big fan of these seats. They're a bit old-fashioned, but they are very comfy. The bolster is really nice. The bolster support is really nice. I think it's just a really simple cockpit. The other thing that's really important, it's not a massively spec'd up car, this, but to get a manual LCI2 is very hard to do. It's very hard to get a manual LCI2. This was the only one on the market. I originally wanted a black or a white one, I said to myself, but then I looked at the red one, and the more I looked at it, the more I googled Melbourne red 240i and started looking at the images, I just thought, you know what, red and BMW, there's like a red tax, like the Imola the Imola red tax. So if you want to get an Imola red E46 M3 now, it costs you like 2 or 3 grand more than, or maybe even more than any other colour, or most other colours. If you want to get an Imola red E34, if it did Imola red, was it Imola red? Whatever, you get the idea. Red commands a premium, and there's not many of them. So how many manual red ones of these LCI2s are there kicking around? There's probably maybe a handful, maybe less than 10 or something like that, maybe even less, about 1 in 10 M240s is a manual. And then out of them, how many are going to be LCI2s and manuals as well, and Melbourne red? So maybe less than 5, who knows. Now I'm going to go around this car after I've washed it very gently and just look at the condition of it. So far though, I'm really pleased that the dealer just left it, you know, because that's just what I asked for. They told me about a tiny little chip here, so I was really worried about this chip, and they've resin filled it, but it's out the way of, it's not in the main screen, and it's tiny. And the car's done about 30,000 miles, and it's 4 years old, 2017. Yeah, so you're going to get little chips on the glass and little chips on the screen. They've told me about a couple of little stone chips on the car, and I've just had a look around, and they're all completely normal. So the condition of the car seems pretty decent. I'm going to go exploring and have a look for more little dinks and scrapes and stuff like that, and make sure all the original body panels are the original BMW paint, which is important to me. Looks like they've done a good job with the respray of the front bumper as well, although you can never tell when the car's all dirty and you're in a low light. But I'd be interested to get the workshop lights on that when it's clean. But the paint colour match looks good, and as long as there's no you know, chips in it on stuff like that, most of that can be improved through machine polishing if there's any like tape marks or machine marring and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm really happy. I will do an initial drive on it and give you my thoughts and all that sort of stuff. The car, for me, the car has just about the right amount of power, doesn't it? Is it 350 brake horse? When it starts going beyond that, you're getting into really fast car territory, and that's just not really me, although, you know, it's fun, isn't it? But I think 350 is just about enough on the UK roads. If you're trying to put down more than, you know, it's the torque, I know, but if you're trying to put down cars with more than sort of 400 brake horse, if you're using all that power, especially in rear wheel drive on UK roads, you know, at that sort of that rate, you're going to come a cropper quite quickly, especially with these F-Series BMWs. If you're, you know, you could come a cropper in a 140 quite easily, couldn't you? And a 240. So, but that being said, a manual M4 competition might be my dream car. I'm just sort of thinking next, you know, this car might be a stopgap car for me for a year, just to enjoy it, enjoy driving it, maybe do a couple of light track days around Goodwood, and that'll be it. And try and save hard, put money aside, and then maybe get myself an M4 manual comp if I can find one of those. Or if not an M4 manual comp, an M2 manual comp, again, if I can find one of those. They're all quite hard to get, all these manuals. It's all going automatic. And if you're a manual lover, you're the last of a dying breed. So guys, let me know what you think. Some of you will be like, ooh, not another BMW. That's all right. We don't all have to like the same cars. It's okay. Give me your opinions. I can take it. But my criteria was light coupe, relatively light. I didn't want an older coupe like an E-Series or anything, just because it might need a bit of work doing, you know. I wanted something fresh that wasn't going to need any work. They've put brand new brake pads on there as well for me, which is great. So it's kind of ready to go, and they won't last long. Yeah, I wanted rear wheel drive, wanted something that wasn't really heavy, you know. I think what's this car at, about 1600 kg, you know. That was about as heavy as I wanted to go. I think it might be a bit lighter than that, but I didn't want anything too heavy. So it's a coupe. It feels like it's got plenty of space to me for a coupe. This is just like the sort of size of car that I like. It's pretty much the same size as the E46. And as I've said in other videos, I think BMW cars are getting bigger and bigger now, and like the latest M3 and, you know, or the latest 3 Series and the latest 4 Series, they're like 5 Series to me, and like almost like a giant coupe. This is like what a coupe should be in terms of size. I'm really interested to see how it handles when you're on a track and you like put it round a corner when you're like hanging on, like the car's at the limit, and what it does and all that sort of stuff. I'm interested to see what the tyre wear's like on these Michelin Pilot Sports, because I'm not a big fan of these tyres. I think there's I can see why they've discontinued them. There's some sort of problem with these tyres, and I don't trust them. They're a bit funky. They can do funny things. So yeah, we'll get these tyres off eventually, and then we'll put probably some Michelin PS4s or a different tyre. We'll try something different. I might put some hardcore tyres on there. Not sure, we'll see. That's it for the time being, guys. I don't know whether or not to play around with this car too much. The exhaust is a bit dull, but then again, I'm not sure if I want the Remus exhaust on the 140 was a bit leery, a bit tasty, maybe just a little bit too much, although in comfort mode it was okay. But I'll probably go with the Remus again, or I don't know if you can get the M Performance exhaust still, because that was quite nice as well. We'll see. And that's it, guys. So over the moon. Aaron, thank you very much for supporting me on Patreon, and it's my, you know, I love it sending these contest prizes out to people as well, as a way of saying thank you for the support. So take care, everyone. I'm just going to sit here for a while smiling and you know, enjoying being in the new car. It does need a bit of a clean. Doesn't smell too bad, but it just needs a good Hoover vacuum out, a little bit of air freshener in here, just wipe down all the things, no dressings or anything like that, just degrease some of these bits of leather, the steering wheel and the gauge. So apart from that, it looks pretty decent, and yeah, all is good. Take care, guys. See you soon.
Holding on to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I when